listeners. My name is Navina Chitanidi, and I am a second-year medical student at New York Medical College.
My name is Jason Aviga. I'm a fourth-year medical student at NYU.
Hey everyone, my name is Angela Rutkowski.
Hello, my name is Abigail Houchin.
My name is Carolina Alcantara here,
and I am here to share some insight on my medical journey.
And if I had to give a TED Talk to an audience of pre-med students.
So one habit that definitely optimized my productivity
and there are two main things. The first thing.
Good morning, travelers, pre-med students, and undergraduates. Welcome to Doctor's Inn. This is where medical experiences are shared, study strategies are examined, and life lessons with a sprinkle of advice and habits are served. Hello, everyone. For episode 10, we decided to go big and invited 10 medical students to come and talk to you about their journey through medicine so far. We asked our lovely medical students 3 questions. The first question was, if you had to give a TED Talk to an audience of pre-med students about your journey through medical school, what would the lecture be about? For the second question, we asked, what is one habit that optimized your productivity and led to your success so far in medical school? And our third and final question was, what is a unique feature your medical school has to support their students and you would feel would be a great addition to other medical schools? We received a variety of responses for each question, so let's dive right into our hypothetical TED Talks. Many of the topics actually related to the category of personal development. Some of the medical students greatly emphasized why a change in mindset is required.
It's taking on a growth mindset. I think med school can be really daunting at times. I sometimes explain it to people as a bully. It really pushes you down. And it's really important for medical students to take on a growth mindset, adapt, and kind of reassess every single decision they're making with their study habits, with how they're managing their time, what they're doing to effectively manage their physical health, their mental health, and their social connectivity to others.
Adaptiveness is a key component of a growth mindset, but so is resilience.
I went from not feeling adequate enough to make it to medical school to doing incredibly well in my first year classes. I still have days and weeks where I feel like I don't belong or that I'm not smart enough. But I look back at how far I've come. All the obstacles and adversities only made me more resilient. Everyone experiences roadblocks in life one way or the other, but what matters is how to rise above it and use that to fuel your drive even more. So moral of the story, do not sell yourself short.
Navina shares great insight in episode 10 on how she overcame the mentioned adversity during her early academic endeavors and how a change in mindset shuffled the right cards to be present at her deck. However, while obstacle is the way to test our personal strengths and weaknesses, many of our guests highlight the importance of forgiving oneself.
Controlling my mindset and my own thoughts have been the biggest key to my success in medical school and honestly the way that I've stayed sane in medical school. I've learned that it's really important to have grace with myself. If I'm not extremely productive one day, some days you have to stop studying at 5 p.m. and you have to be okay with that and tell yourself that it's okay, and then you can start again at 7 in the morning the next day strong. It's really important to stay in your lane and focus on yourself. You really need to make sure that you're not comparing yourself to others. And when you do have those thoughts, you kind of let them be there, but you don't follow them and you don't give them any weight. You need to be comparing yourself to the student that you were last semester or last exam.
Ruby expands on why comparison is the thief of joy in medical school.
I truly believe that comparison is the thief of joy. You are going to find yourself in a class of amazing other students, and you might even be used to being, best student in your school, and now suddenly you're going to be surrounded by 100 or 200 of other best students. And it's just really important to remember that the admissions committees are selecting from thousands of students, handpicking their, 100 or 200 people in their class. And each person that they pick, they chose because they exhibited certain qualities that they wanted to foster in that class. You're important. You're supposed to be there. They wanted you there out of all the people that applied.
Jason, who's in the final year, explains that it is inevitable to forget information that you learned, but also why you should not be too hard on yourself.
Suddenly, everything that you're doing, everything that you're learning is for an amazing purpose that serves your development as a doctor. One of the things that is a real challenge, that has been a real challenge for me in medical school, is, on the flip side of that, if everything matters, it can be pretty scary because you are learning things and then forgetting them. That is absolutely inevitable. And there is a little bit of a kind of Zen state that you eventually have to get to in realizing that when you encounter things that matter, which is all day, every day, they don't just come up once. They come up twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, and recur every couple of weeks for the rest of your life.
It is reassuring that clinical rotations and patient care indirectly reinforces medical concepts through repetition. Up next, we have TED Talk topics that are geared toward improving the logistics for preparedness.
I will talk about the benefits of volunteering abroad. It is a life-changing experience for pre-med students and is an opportunity to explore the medical world and even get some hands-on involvement. It not only gives a chance to shadow doctors, see and learn procedures in some specialties from up close, and make lifelong connections, but it also gives the student the chance to see a new culture and how it influences healthcare. I had the wonderful experience of going to Haiti with a nonprofit organization called Limbs for Haiti. It was a group composed of surgeons, anesthesiologists, and OR nurses. I was able to assist in multiple procedures and learn so much from everyone. It's hard to explain how it impacted me in profound ways and how much it made me appreciate the resources that we have in the United States.
While volunteering abroad is very valuable to prepare for the clinical aspects of medicine, Abigail explains what is recommended to prepare for the first year of medical school.
I was really, really nervous and anxious to start school, to start my first day of classes. I really didn't know what to expect. And honestly, the best advice I can give for that is realizing that it's perfectly normal to have those feelings. But to prepare for that, I talked to a lot of the students in the years above me and just asked them ways that I could prepare for the first day. And they really said to me, don't focus too much on school leading up to your first day. Try to relax, try to do things that you enjoy, because essentially you're about to start 4 years of a lot of hard work.
When we asked our guests what they're doing to be successful in medical school, they provided a lot of valuable systems such as vision boards, active learning, spaced repetition, buddy systems, and so much more. Mitali and Shubi went into great detail on this.
Prioritizing active learning over passive learning. Types of active learning include asking questions, repetition, doing practice questions, and teaching others. Application is key. A simple example of application is knowing why the action potential of a muscle is done and why it is different from cardiac cells. After you understand the concept, you have to memorize the rest. Repetition is key. The more you see the concept, the more you'll retain it. The key is to do it consistently every day. Practice questions are not only a good way to practice repetition application, but also to practice test taking.
And spaced repetition is this amazing concept that I actually didn't know about before I attended medical school. In medical school, we use this called Anki, and the greatest thing about Anki is that it's actually free software that you can download. And what it does is spaced repetition basically helps you remember certain topics quickly, as well as in the long term. So what that means is if you have an exam coming up in 3 weeks and it's cumulative, sometimes what we do is just review 1 week at a time, and then you might forget the next week as you're reviewing the last week. But with spaced repetition, what will happen is you'll see topics from the previous week come up in the week you're currently reviewing, so that you can keep those topics in mind as you're reviewing.
More techniques can be found in episode 10. Okay, so we are told how to optimize studying, but how do we optimize our time?
One habit that optimized my productivity and led to my success so far in med school was figuring out which hours of the day I have the most energy. For me, that meant adjusting my schedule to wake up much earlier so that I could have a long and productive morning and then unwind at the end of the day when my focus dropped. I also make a general plan for each day the night before so that I can just wake up and start getting it done rather than stressing about where to even start.
These are some of the many advice and strategies that are given to pre-meds in episode 10. The full 40-minute episode will be dropping on Saturday, August 7th. A major thank you to all the medical students who agreed to be featured. You can find them on their provided socials here. For more information and show notes, you can watch the full episode on all available podcasting platforms and visit our website at www.doctorsinpodcast.com. You can also follow our socials at Doctors In. Thank you, everybody. Bye.